Yo, what up? It's your boy JJ Stone, aka O Doctor, and about to talk about the audience conference put on by 1938 Media and Hat Media. This is the itinerary for the day. This is what we call a notebook. There was no Wi-Fi, no Twittering, no open laptops, and no flash photos. It was a little thing I guess they wanted to do called respect and have people actually be an audience and listen. I mean, people don't take open laptops to a concert now, do they? No, they don't. Maybe they tweet a little bit, but not the laptops. Doesn't bother me any because if you've seen me at a conference, I don't take laptops around. I rarely tweet quotes from people, and I don't really take notes. I usually go off the raw emotion of things and have a good memory. So, conference. I love the conference. You know, I'm no bullshit, so whatever. I loved it. It was probably the best conference I've been to besides the South by Southwest, which, excuse me, is just awesome because of the magnitude of it and everybody's in one location and the party hoopla. But there was food in the morning, great lunch, salmon, beef, all that jazz. The food was awesome. There was food throughout the day, coffee throughout the day, fruit, all that jazz. Great. If you wanted to tweet, you had to go back out and step out into the hallway. Most of the times you have your head down, tweeting or writing notes, and you miss things of what the next thing the speaker might say. It was a very intimate conference. Most of the people that Lauren brought up there, he introduced them as my friend, my friend, my friend. And you got that feeling when you had the after parties, the pre-party, the lunch. The best thing about having a lunch at an event that is there is, number one, you don't have to run out and go to some restaurant and get stuck waiting and then come back and then miss a panel or something. Everyone went up, had lunch together. You know, we got up, sat around, did musical chairs, did the networking, the powwowing, and it was nice to not have to rush or go anywhere else, and you could still be in the environment of the people that you were there with. So, food's kind of a big deal for an event. Also, the other major thing of the event, there were actual artists and performers at the end. There was a poet. There were 3 musical performances, and the one musical performance I didn't really care for that much, but they played a harp, and I personally never seen anybody play a harp in concert, so it was nice for me. One of the songs was awesome, and then there was 2 other groups after that, which I'll talk about sometime later and review their stuff because they were awesome. Shouts out to my boy Earbender for that. Yeah, so Frank Roach, Uncle Frank was there talking about how to deal with 25,000 plus employees. And the biggest thing you could take away from that is the number one thing he said to me is that people don't give lead time. So the CEO will come in and say, okay, well, I'm putting out this mass memo to everybody all at one time. Instead of going to managers, executives and the managers and giving them time to process it and understand it, so when the people underneath them ask questions, they have time to do it instead of just blasting people. He said other interesting stuff, but that was the thing that stuck with me. Arrington flaked out. Apparently somebody ate his dog. That's not what happened, but it's funny anyway. Andrew Keene, never even heard of Andrew Keene before, but his arrogance is something to behold. I loved it, actually. And to meet him afterwards, you would still feel that air of arrogance, but you understand why he is that way. He talked about how everyone's the audience, and at some point everyone is going to be on the same level, which is going to create confusion because you need people to talk down to you and be an authoritative figure. Jeremy Shoemaker, I don't know what he was talking about. I love Shoemaker. I actually read his stuff quite often, but I don't know what he was talking about. And I'm going to link up a video that he did a couple days before the conference, which I actually loved. So to fix I don't know what Shoemaker was talking about, I'm linking up a post so you can pop up your face or in the notes and you can check that out. But Shoemaker's awesome, and he's doing the dang gum thing. Jeremy Pepper said nobody's listening, so at this point you're probably not listening, so it doesn't matter anyway. Joe Jaffe is Joe Jaffe, and if you know Joe Jaffe, he is what you think Joe Jaffe is. Ray Hoffman, love her. Attitude, self-proclaimed bitch. Came across her stuff a couple months ago, and she knows her stuff. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. She's a Bucks fan. It's sad. But basically, what happened in the afternoon was a theme of telling your story is what happened. Everyone just kept telling their story, and you just see how they evolved and came into what they came into and how they became successful at it. The best story of the day goes to that's a tough one. The best story of the day split between Brian Clark and Jason Calacanis. Let me start with Clark. Clark is someone you might know as Pro Blogger. He talked about my boy Dan Ogilvy in advertising. Wrote a couple books back in the 60s. I've read them. Everything still holds up. Everything still holds true. And his story was amazing. And basically, stop complaining about stuff and go do it. I actually had a conversation with my cousin. I'll make a video about that later. But his story is amazing. What he's doing is amazing. Very smart guy. Very talented. Chill. Laid back. But Calacanis, I always thought he was an asshole. I didn't know him, but every time I ever heard his name, he was an asshole. He's doing this. He's fucking with this person. He's messing with that person. He sold this. Mahalo sucks. I mean, I hear about all kinds of stuff. He could be doing better with Mahalo. And I'm like, didn't the dude sell like 4 companies? Like, I think he knows what he's doing. But anyway, I didn't know him, and I didn't care to know him. After hearing his story, after hearing his rise to, I don't want to say fame, but his rise through his internet businesses, I kind of love the guy. He's a ball buster, and he likes to bust balls really on purpose because it doesn't even matter to him. He just does it just to do it. But his ideas on certain things were right on. Like he said something about haters, and I'm just like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Number one, most haters actually love you, and that's something that he said, and it's true. When someone gets all upset with you, it's usually because you did something that they never thought you would do. Oh, you tweeted out an ad tweet. Why would you do that? I can't believe... so they just want you to fix it and be what they want you to be. But you can only be yourself. So haters or whatever. So I'm going to give a tie to Brian Clark and Calacanis. The worst thing of the day was... dadgummit. Forget his name. I'll link it up. But it's the dude from Warner Brothers Music. This kid started talking about when he was 8 years old and told me his whole story from the time he was 8. By the time he got to his job at Warner Brothers, his time was up, and he didn't talk about anything having to do with the audience. Oh, everybody was centered around the audience. The audience was actually great because people were on topic. Because most of the times in talks and conferences, the biggest thing that kills me is somebody gets up on stage and says, I'm going to tell you this, this, and this. And at the end, they didn't tell you this, that, or that. And you're just like, well, didn't you say something about teach me something earlier? Because people get on a rant. But everybody stayed and focused around the audience and how to gain and how to use and how to respond and how to grow an audience. Savvy Auntie. Savvy Auntie is awesome. She had her whole marketing team is 5 foot, 105 pounds. I thought that was cute. Her story was really nice and good. Actually, just a shout out to her. Someone said that they miss her tweeting for her, not the company tweeting, because apparently her tweets, old school style, were awesome. So maybe I'll look for some of those and following her now. And that's it. Everybody that spoke was pretty good. In general, got nuggets of information from them. I could tell you more things, but what's the point? You're not going to implement them anyway. And it's actually nice that most of these videos aren't going to come out. Like that Calacanis talk is not going to be on the internet, and you're not going to get to see that anywhere, I'm sure. But it was very intimate, and it was very... It sounds cheesy, but I almost want to say it was family. And, as thugged out and ignorant as Lauren is, it was great. It was a great event, and if I ever throw an event, I want to have performers. I want to have food. I want to. It was funny because it was the audience conference, but it really felt like a community because everybody knew the person that was there was somehow like directly connected to Lauren in some kind of friendship capacity. There were very few strangers in the room, so it was really great. And I'm happy that I got to go. I appreciate the opportunity to hear everyone speak. And next year, I suggest you go to the audience conference. Because it's nice to go to an event where at the last minute, they're not scrambling trying to give tickets away and say, oh, come to the conference, come to the conference. He said, you know what, we have enough people. We'll go what we got right here. And that's how we're going to roll. So, again, one of the best conferences I've been to. Most of the crowd wasn't full of shit, which usually happens. I mean, you meet people, and a lot of people are just full of shit. But most people I met were not full of shit, and Yeah, got to hang out with Uncle CC and Uncle Frank. That's always a bonus. Met some new friends. I am Kayam. Got to hang out with my boys, Oz, Niam, Kayam. So, great event. I suggest that you mark down for the audience conference next year and that you go. I'm your boy Owen JJ Stone, aka O Doctor. And if you're still listening, great. Hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later. Peace.